Today, I'd like to talk about this phenomenon of feeling an inner void, of feeling emptiness inside. So, the part of the self that is wounded forms the ego. And when we look at the ego, it is mainly driven by the outside, not by the inside. And what I mean by that is that it avoids the conscious connection to the wound, to the inside. It is actually run by the wound, but not meeting it, which leaves a void inside. And the ego part of us has the tendency to constantly wish to fill this void with outside stimulants. So the trouble begins when we lose the connection to the heart, when we lose the connection to the self and create the false self. We lose this connection to the self because of the fear to feel the pain again. And we live in a society that's absolutely nourishing these kind of behaviors because the main focus is actually on the outside, focusing on material goals, meeting expectations, building an image. And within this society, we are taught to leave our emotions aside, best avoid them, numb them down, ignore them, just in order to fit in. From small onwards, our emotions are oftentimes considered as troublesome, as unwanted, as too much, because the previous generations did not learn how to cope with them either. Yet emotions are nothing to be afraid of. There's so many ways how to deal with them in a non-harmful way, in a non-destructive way. They have the tendency to become destructive when they are accumulated and suppressed. But even then, if you are in a safe space, these emotions can be released and processed slowly without causing any harm. But because we did not learn the basics of what emotions are, we are oftentimes afraid of them. And emotions are actually an approach, a response to what approaches us from the outside. Many people believe staying in the pattern of avoiding them and healing oneself at the same time is possible. Believing healing can be done from the outside in order to avoid meeting the unpleasant and suppressed is an understandable wish. I completely get it. It's not pleasant to meet the wounds and the old pain. Yet I haven't observed this so far. Usually it's on the inside. Healing happens on the inside. So I haven't observed or experienced in my own journey or with someone else's that they can't just go somewhere and healing is done for them. Because healing happens within, it's an internal process which can be guided or supported from the outside, but the actual healing process is happening inside. And us avoiding the pain we might feel in our hearts will only make us being restless spirits, wandering around, searching for something to fill the void over and over again. But the void cannot be filled with something from the outside. The void cannot be filled with anything less than the own appeased self, the healed and taken care of I.